Hi, I am Skylar Church. I am a California real estate broker, but most importantly, I am also a sales manager at Accredited real estate schools, and I have their information listed below if you're interested in checking them out. So what this video is designed for is to help out with the renewal process once you've done your continuing education of what to do at that point. Once you have it done, how do you submit it to the Bureau with the fees? And that's what this is going to be all about for you. So what we have is once you get your real estate license and you need to renew it, we have it to where you have to complete the continuing education. I have the requirements in a separate video. But once you've done the continuing education and have that certificate of completion from the school in hand, you're then able to renew with the Bureau. And you have two options that the Bureau provide. You could have the first one where you just fill out the continuing education course verification form, which is RE 251, and that's available on their website. And then you'll send that to the Bureau, either mail it, hand deliver it, whichever, with the applicable fees and documentation. So that would also include the application, which for salesperson, it's RE 209, and for broker, it's RE 208. And if you're an officer, it's RE 207. And that's where you can get the forms, and it's available on the Bureau's website. However, if you're like, I don't want to deal with, filling out a physical application, sending it in, waiting for it to get processed. If you're like, I want immediate processing of this thing, then eLicensing is a perfect solution. The Bureau's implemented it a few years back, and it really makes the whole renewal process so much easier and simpler and a lot faster. So what it is you just go to the Bureau's website and you'd be able to do electronic processing, send in all the information right online, pay for it, and then get that on good for you and good to go. So it's really cool, and so I'm going to go over that process. But overall, I'm going to talk about the continuing education limitations. So, the great thing about continuing education is the Bureau allows you to complete it any time within the preceding 4 years of your expiration date. So you're able to complete it, if you're like, you just got your license and you don't expire for another 4 years, you could do your CE any time within that time period. However, the one thing is the Bureau does not allow you to submit the information and the fees to the Bureau until 90 days prior to your expiration date. So you can finish it however long or before your expiration date. You just have to hold on to it until it's been 90 days, at the least 90 days prior to your expiration date. That's because they want to get the fees then, and in case the requirements have changed, you have to stay up to date. So if you did your continuing education a few years back, but then they made a change like they did with the management supervision requirement, you would have to complete that new course requirement. So just be aware of that. And then, so what we have here is for eLicensing. Now you're going to renew with the Bureau. You're within that 90-day period, and you're like, I need to get this in, submit it, and just get it done with. So you're going to go to the Bureau's website, which I have right here, and you will click on eLicensing, which I have circled. And that will take you to the eLicensing login page. And so you're able to sign in or register. If you have an account already, just sign on in. But if you haven't had an account or never used eLicensing, then you're able to register. So I'm going to go over the registering, kind of the requirements on that end of it. So if you already have an account, skip forward just a little bit, and I will give you the exact timestamp below for it, the time mark. So, if you are registering, they basically need you to agree to the terms and conditions and all of that good stuff. Read through it. Once you've accepted it, you go on. You got to enter your social security number or and your date of birth. That's how they're able to retrieve through the database and make sure that that's you, so you can create an account and it will go with the applicable licensees, which is you. So you will then input that stuff, and then they'll say you need to create your username, your password, your email address. So you'll go do all that fun stuff, and then you'll be able to get on and be able to start and sign in. So you're registered. So you just sign on in with the Bureau, and you're able to then choose from a list of options. And so, for instance, you'll hit either salesperson license renewal, or if you're a broker license renewal, whichever one pops up, you'll click that, and it will allow you then to have some information you have to read through. And so we have all this info here, and once you're done reading through it, you'll hit continue. And from that point, they give you a questionnaire that you have to read through and answer honestly and truthfully. So you'll just go through it and everything and make sure. The most important questions, though, are the bottom two for what the application will go from there. All of these questions are important, but the bottom two do have an effect on the remaining way that the application on eLicensing will work. So just fill that out honestly, truthfully, make sure it's all correct. And then once you're done with that, you will hit continue. And they'll give you the current address they have on file for you. Update that if need be. So you'll say yes or no if you want to change it. So if the one that they have listed is correct, you hit no. If you want to change the one that they have listed there, then you would hit yes. And if you did, you'll just kind of enter your new information, hit continue, your phone number, just how the Bureau can reach you. Because they're trying to make stuff more electronic and go paperless to, go green in a sense. So that's why they want to make sure that they can contact you without actually having to mail something. And then from that point, what they have is if you selected yes to the second to last question on the questionnaire, you will then have to update your employee broker information. And so we're going to go through that. And that's basically where you put the license number of the broker that you have, and then you just save it. Your broker eventually will have to go in and, verify that change. And then at that point, you will have to enter your course information, and that is where the certificate of completion that you received from your school with all of the information on it, this is where it will come in handy. And so you'll hit add course, and that add course button you'll be hitting a lot because you have to do it for every single course listed on your certificate. So you hit add course, and what we have listed is the Bureau says, okay, you need to enter the certificate number for the course, the registration date, and the completion date. And so the certificate of completion, for instance, here's an example of it. You will have the approval numbers or the certificate numbers. The Bureau has a school on the certificate call it a little bit differently than sometimes what they have it as the eLicensing. So just know the approval number, certificate number, they're synonymous. They go to the same thing. So you'll put that information in. You'll put the corresponding registration date or the enrollment date, and then the completion date for that course. And make sure that when you do that, everything is filled out completely and it's correct. You will then hit save. And the fun part for it is you repeat it. So you keep on going on. So then you'll just keep entering the same thing throughout that whole list. So, when you have your consumer protection, agency, ethics, trust fund, fair housing, risk management, management and supervision, so many courses, you just enter it all. Your certificate may look a little bit different than this one, but this is kind of like a standard one that you might need. And so you just go through it and do it a bunch of times for every single course you have. That's the biggest thing. So it's a little tedious, but then again, you're able to do it pretty fast comparatively to waiting for it to get delivered and then have them process it. And if they reject it, and you got to send it back in. And anyways, on the RE-251 form that if you decided to physically send in the application, they require you to transfer this information from the certificate onto their own form. So no matter what, you're not getting out of it. So this is just an electronic way of doing it. And so once you have that, you have all your courses there. This is just an example of the courses, all of them there. You're then able to hit the validate. So this is where the Bureau is going to take everything you entered and make sure it's correct. And then once you've done that, you will be able to say it's good. They said it's all verified and set and validated. So you hit continue. And then from there, they're like, congratulations, you have completed entering all the information they need for this renewal. In actual application, they have basically had the information that you input on their whole system into an actual physical form that you could print out. So you could hit the here on that second line. Once you're done with that, you will hit continue. And that is where the Bureau wants their money. So that's when you'll input all your credit card information. All of the fees will be there, so like the total amount for how much you're paying. For salesperson, $245 on time. For late, it's $367. For brokers, on time is $300. Late is $450. So you'll pay whatever corresponding amount, what time you're doing it, and stuff like that. You'll enter your credit card number, all of that good stuff, and you'll hit pay. And from that point on, you are good for another 4 years. And you can even check the public licensee record information for being able to just verify that they basically made sure that it's public information, that it's all good and it's been renewed for another 4 years. You can also check, online that they have a bunch of stuff there too. So a lot of resources. So basically, you're good then. You're done. You sent in all the stuff. You've paid for it. You did your education. Everything's good. And you're pretty much set and you can keep on practicing. However, a disclaimer that I want you to know is I am not affiliated with the Bureau of Real Estate. This is just an informational video that I'm doing to benefit you, to make this process a little bit more clear. However, I do not cover all stipulations and I can't tell you exactly. So always verify and check and be up to date with the Bureau. Here's their contact information here. They're an awesome resource for this because they are the ones you are technically dealing with directly. But this is just a video to give you information on the overall process. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call or comment below, and one of us will be more than willing to help you out.